Hi, welcome to the second episode of Instructoids. Last time we learned what RAM is and how its capabilities are measured. Today we're going to learn what type of RAM our computer supports and where to purchase it. Going back to the analogy in the last Instructoid, when a computer has a small table on which to spread things out, it has to keep swapping information back and forth with the hard drive in order to keep up with multiple tasks. All this data transfer slows down your computer's performance. Thus, if we give it a bigger table, your computer will be able to keep up with you much more easily. First, what to get. The biggest difference between RAM modules is the size. Desktop RAM uses the DIMM configuration, while laptops use small outline DIMMs. The pin count is another important feature to look for. Most RAM chips contain between 184 and 240 connection pins lined up along the edge that plugs into the motherboard. These pin counts are not cross-compatible. The number of channels is also important. Certain motherboards can support only a certain number of channels. Not only is data transferred differently between DDRs and DDR2s, but the notch in the edge of the chip that plugs into the motherboard slot is placed differently. In addition, to make full use of DDR2 or DDR3 channel technology, you need as many modules as there are channels. Another restriction is the gigabyte capacity. This restriction has more to do with the software than the hardware. The operating system, or OS, usually needs a minimum of RAM capacity in order to load itself. It also has a maximum amount of RAM that it's capable of utilizing. A 32-bit OS can only use around 3.75 gigabytes of RAM, while a 64-bit OS can use much more RAM than the average motherboard even supports. We'll talk about 32-bit versus 64-bit another time. There are a few other variations in RAM design that you'll want to look out for. Buffered or registered RAM contains a performance stability enhancement. An error correction code RAM double checks its data for accuracy during transfer. Most consumer computers either don't need or don't support these added features. Alright, now we know what to look for. But where do we look? There are four main sources. The easiest is probably your computer manual. Most manuals mention what type of RAM your computer is upgradable to, as well as instructions on how to replace it. You can check other conditions by right-clicking My Computer and selecting Properties. Here you'll see whether you have a 32-bit or 64-bit OS, and how much RAM you have currently installed. A third place to look would be on the support website of your computer's manufacturer. You can select your model from a series of drop-down menus and find the RAM specifications here. The fourth option is on a website like Crucial.com, which boasts an easy and informative guide to RAM upgrading. Great, now we know what RAM we need, but where do we get it? You could always buy it straight from the manufacturer of your computer, but that's expensive. Third-party retailers like Crucial.com or Micro Center are great resources for discounted RAM modules and a host of other computer parts. But the cheapest way to get RAM is on auction websites like eBay. People are always selling perfectly good RAM of any size and configuration, and buyers can usually grab a module for half or even a third of Micro Center's price. Craigslist is also a good resource for finding local computer tech enthusiasts who have leftover parts in fine condition and would be happy to have you take it off their hands. Wonderful! You've gotten your new RAM modules and you just can't wait to see how they'll boost your computer's performance. Next time, be ready to dust off the screwdrivers. We're going to do a transplant. Thanks for watching Instructoids.